I think the greatest fear that we face is ourselves, actually. It's not anything that's external or anything that's superficial. I think the greatest fear you face is yourself, because we all have dreams, and it's very scary sometimes to accept the dream that you have. And it's scarier still to say, okay, I want that. It's scary because you're afraid that if you put your heart and soul into it and you fail, then how are you going to feel about yourself? Right? So being fearless means putting yourself out there and going for it. No matter what, go for it. Not for anybody else, but for yourself.
Michael Jordan once said, "I've failed over and over again. That's why I succeed." However, in order to achieve success, you have to be resilient and not be afraid to keep trying over and over again. That's the Mamba mentality. My favorite Kobe Bryant moment was actually this particular game. I remember this game back in 2006, and I was rooting for the Phoenix Suns to actually win this series. And I remember Kobe making that shot from the free throw line, and that was it. That was game over. The Lakers were up 3-1. I was a big Steve Nash fan at that time. This was when he won back-to-back MVP. I remember going to school the next day, and I remember seeing my friend Brian, and Brian is the biggest Lakers fan. He's the biggest Kobe Bryant fan I know. Oh man, I just remember him being up in my face that day. Believe it or not, actually the Lakers didn't end up winning the series. The Suns came back to win it all. It was probably one of the best playoff series I've ever watched in my whole life.
When Kobe was guarding an inbound pass, had the ball fake pass straight to his face, maybe not even an inch away. That man didn't even flinch. Mamba mentality.
The one thing that I remember about Kobe was when he dropped 60 points on his last game against Utah. And I think I've watched that about a few times.
I think my favorite Kobe Bryant moment was when he was drafted by Charlotte and then he was traded to the Los Angeles Lakers. During that time, Shaq was already my favorite player. And when they took Kobe Bryant from the Charlotte Hornets, I was like, you know what, this team could be a legend. And that's exactly what happened. And when Shaq left, Kobe was so sure that he's gonna get his championship even though Shaq wasn't there. So when he did it, it just shows his Mamba mentality.
Kobe left us a lot of amazing memories, but what really stuck to me was his first championship. I was the biggest Reggie Miller fan, and I remember that game like it was yesterday. That last two clutch free throws was insane. Back in 2016 when they had the Toronto All-Star. And I don't even remember actually how we got into one of the practice facility for free. For some reason, me and Marvin were able to get in there, and we were able to watch the whole practice game.
I remember when Kobe did the between the legs dunk to win the dunk contest, and as a kid, all I tried doing was to replicate that as a layup while playing horse.
My favorite memory of Kobe is when he won the Oscar for Dear Basketball.
Most memorable Kobe moment for me was his game against Golden State Warriors. During the fourth quarter, he tears his Achilles heel. But this guy decides to push through and persevere, goes through the free throw line, and shoots those free throws and walks on strong. Lets you know that whatever you start, you gotta finish. That's Kobe for you.
When Kobe dropped 60 on Utah in his last game, it was the best game I ever watched.
I remember when Kobe hit a buzzer beater 3-pointer over Dwayne Wade back in December of 2009.
My favorite memory of Kobe Bryant is when he dropped 81 points against the Toronto Raptors.
I remember when Kobe and Shaq brought home a three-peat to the city of LA. That's when I realized that he was really my hero. I was only 8 years old at the time, but I knew that I had to conquer every single obstacle and challenge with the same mentality.
He was a legend. What I remember the most was the 2010 when he beat the Celtics in the championship game, and if I'm not mistaken, that whole year he had a busted finger. So he was truly a professional, and he will be missed.
What I remember about Kobe was that game where he tore his Achilles
walked back onto the court and shot his last 2 free throws of that game. It just showed resilience and true Mamba mentality. Miss you, Kobe.
I remember when Kobe dropped 60 points in his last game, said his farewell speech, and to cap it all off in Kobe fashion, he said, "Mamba out."
You don't have to be a big Kobe Bryant fan to have the Mamba mentality. For years, I convinced myself that I wasn't a runner. Yet here I am, doing my longest run of 24K in freezing cold weather. I'm not an elite runner. I can't even say I'm better than average. But that didn't stop me from becoming a newer version of myself. A much stronger, much faster runner today. That's the Mamba mentality.